Believe it or not, in the Philippines, it stays warm all year long. What's more interesting is that Filipinos would still crave for a bowl of hot soup. My personal favorite growing up was this soup called Lugaw. This soup recipe is part of the Super Vegan Soup collaboration with Kobe at Vegetarials, with me at Eco Vegan Gal, Monique at Brown Vegan, Fifi at Divine Hostess, Kylie at Fellowship of the Vegetable, Michelle at Vegan Cooking with Love, Lainey with Simply Bakings. For some reason, I got snuck into the list, but I'm incredibly grateful and humbled nonetheless to be part of this collaboration. For our vegan loo-ghao recipe, we'll need 4 cloves of garlic minced, and then 2 other cloves of garlic crushed and minced. So the other 2 cloves of garlic, we'll use that for garnish later. 1 yellow onion chopped. If you only have small yellow onions, then use 2. 2 tablespoons of ginger. The traditional cut them into strips. But if you're not a big fan, I know some people are not a big fan of biting to the ginger, cut them into big chunks. And of course, it won't be a rice porridge without the rice. Sticky white rice, 10 cups of water. We might need more later on, but this is a good start. A dozen pieces of shiitake mushrooms sliced. You may use your favorite mushroom. My personal preference for this recipe is shiitake mushrooms for its texture, chewy texture, and flavor. 2 blocks of tofu cut into cubes. 3 snow fungus, which will eventually cut into chunks. Snow fungus, you can get this at Asian stores. You may also skip using this if you can't find any. The reason why I'm including it is I like that chewy texture that's very similar to tribe. 1/4 teaspoon of freshly cracked black pepper. And I'm going a little fancy here and use Greek saffron threads. So I'm only using few threads because it will have potent flavor. Now, if you're not using the fancy grade, that's completely fine. Filipinos actually just use regular saffron. And so for the portion, you probably will just want 1 teaspoon of fat. I got the saffron, by the way, at Rainbow Grocery. They have that at a reasonable price. Depending on the type of sodium level or flavoring in your vegetable broth, the portion is up to you. You just have to adjust it to your preference. So what I have here is vegetable broth chicken flavor, but it is vegan. For garnish, we also would want 4 pieces of scallions sliced. And for condiment, this is completely optional, but it does enhance the experience, the dining experience, if you have this on the side. In the Philippines, it's called Tokwat Baboy, which means tofu and pork, but for today we will replace that with tofu and mushrooms using the sauteed mushrooms that we'll cook in the fried tofu. 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 2 to 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, and 2 to 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar. You may use any kinds of vinegar that you prefer. The secret to a great loo-ghao is the seasoning, the base seasoning, which will be the garlic, onions, and ginger. Those 3. You need those 3 to create a flavorful aromatic loo-ghao. If you don't have them, then in your loo-ghao it will fall a little flat. So that's the start of our cooking, the saute, as most Filipino dishes start with. And we just heated a large pot, such as this one, over a medium heat, and then we'll put a little bit of oil. So we'll wait for it to heat up a little bit there. So once the pot is hot enough, we'll put a little bit of oil, about 2 tablespoons of oil. Swirl it around a little bit. Once you see a lot of ripples, then we are ready for the saute. First, we'll start as usual. Start with the garlic. Just want to sweat it out a little bit for a good 5 to 8 seconds. Then quickly you add the onions. Then you'll mix it and wait for the onions to turn translucent. It's becoming a little translucent now. It smells wonderful. Then we add the ginger and the big chunks here. Next, we add the rice, and then we'll add the water, wait for the rice to cook, and the rest will be easy peasy. You just have to add the rest of the ingredients. Okay, I think we're ready to add the rice. It's important to wash your rice and rinse and drain it first before using the rice. Mix it around. You want to keep mixing so that the rice won't stick on the bottom, and then it's now time to add the water. Okay. You want to bring this to a boil, but keep mixing it so that nothing will stick on the bottom. So I'm going to do a little bit of multitasking here by also frying the tofu while we are cooking the rice. You may skip frying the tofu if you want. Add a little bit of oil there. And then we'll drop the tofu. Probably just 1/4, not overcrowding the pan here. I'm starting with just enough to fill the pan without overcrowding it. So add a little gaps in between, and sometimes you want to use a splatter screen for this, but see, the beauty of using extra firm high quality tofu is that it doesn't leak out moisture and water. So you get a nice fry. So this looks like it is ready. So I'm going to transfer to our container here and add in a new batch. Consistency is getting there. So we want it even more mushy. We can already season it with the vegetable broth. I'm gonna let's add about 2 tablespoons for now. And like I said, the portion is completely up to you because it depends on what brand you're using, what kind. Is it vegetable broth, liquid or powdered? I kept mixing it so that the powder will fully dissolve, and it's also getting a little thicker. And we'll taste to find out if it needs more vegetable powder or not. Definitely more vegetable powder. What? It is important to follow your instinct anyway when you're cooking, not to just blindly follow a formula. That way you can make your dish your own, and it just makes the cooking more enjoyable. This is my favorite part of the cooking anyway. Let's see. That's it. Now let's add the rest of the seasoning. We'll add the black pepper and the saffron. Let's see. We want it peppery. The more black pepper, the better. Okay. Mixing, nothing sticks in the bottom. Add the shiitake mushrooms. 1 wanna leave a little bit for later for the condiment. So I'm gonna leave just about this much for the condiment, just to show you. Do that. And the saffron threads here. Didn't use a lot because that's some strong saffron right there. Adding the tofu here. Yum! Oh my gosh. Looks good. And last but not the least, we'll add as the main ingredient our snow fungus. So you can roughly cut them into however sizes you want. So they actually grew bigger, so I think we're just gonna use 2, but feel free to use 3 if you're gonna be a big fan of this, which I'm sure you will be. Okay. Transfer it to right here, and then we'll transfer it to the soup. Okay, adding in the snow fungus. This is completely optional to add the snow fungus, but it has a great texture to replace dried bergamot. Yum! This is getting a little too thick now, so we're gonna add 2 cups of water, and maybe more if it gets thick again. So let's see if the seasoning changed from adding the water. Still very good. Okay. No need to add more vegetable broth. Okay, but it does look like it's getting thicker again, so we'll add just 1 more cup, and I think that should be it. Okay, adding 1 cup. Nice flavor of the ginger and the pepper without being too overpowering. It's also very nice and savory. We'll leave it a little bit and we'll wait for it to boil and turn off the heat, and then we'll move on to the garnishing and condiments. Turn off the heat back on for the cast iron pan and put a little bit of oil. This is completely optional, but I highly suggest for you to fry this garlic and put it on top of the bowl of loo-ghao soup, because it does make a difference. It elevates the flavor even more. So it seems like this is hot enough, so we'll add the garlic and fry them until they're golden brown. Okay, it's getting there. You don't want it to be black, because then that will be burnt. Okay, so this is ready. I've removed the garlic completely from the pan, and now I'm sauteing the mushrooms. Just a light saute in light oil to cook them, and then we'll turn off the heat. So I just sauteed it for a quick 20 seconds. Awesome. Okay, now we're ready to assemble. So I'm grabbing a bowl here, putting our nice loo-ghao inside. Putting it here. You may add just a little bit of oil and top it with scallions there. And then with the fried garlic. That looks awesome right there. And then probably with a little bit more black pepper. So that looks good, but you know what? It's not done yet. This is Up to you if you want to do this, but this is super simple. Okay, this is just for you to give it a shot, please. So this is the 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. I'm just gonna add it here, the rice vinegar and the soy sauce. Mix it around, and then we add the mushrooms and tofu. This becomes our instant tofu and mushroom condiment on the side. Let's just add a little bit of coarse black pepper. And there you have it. This is the bowl of lugaw, my all-time favorite soup. I hope that you've learned a lot, and I hope that you can give this a try. And even with the condiment here, it's super easy. I think you should definitely do it. So the way to enjoy it is just to grab a spoon and enjoy it here, and then as you keep eating, then you can also keep adding the tofu and mushroom and put it on top here. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this episode and give it a try, and I hope that you can also check out the other soup recipes on this playlist. Thanks so much for watching. Kain, let's eat.